Okay. I think it's focusing. The autofocus is a bit funny, unfortunately. It's not the greatest low light camera. My car is a, as you already know, 1985 Generation 1 Australian delivered Subaru Vortex, which means made in Japan, put on a boat, sent to Australia, sold to someone. So I bought it from a very sweet old lady who lived at the top of a very steep hill. I'll try and include some footage. I also thought I'd show off some of the stuff that came in the car when I first bought it. The first of which being this pre-delivery inspection service. So what this is it's the piece of paper that I'm guessing either the dealership completes when it arrives at the dealer or before they sell it to the customer. So in my case, this one is marked the 2nd of January 1986, and it was sold at the no longer existing Salisbury Subaru. So I don't know if it's to do with the time it takes to send the car via a boat and then, quarantine it and get it to a dealership. I don't know if dealers order them and they get them in or how any of that works. But my car at Salisbury Subaru was not inspected and ready to sell until about a year into its production. The other thing could be is if they did that just before they sold it, it could have just taken a year to sell. Either way, not crazy relevant. So they sold it to a bloke in 1986. It was his car until 2017, or possibly before. He's passed away and the car then became his wife's. One car, now his wife's car. So she drove it for a bit, and what's great is she actually had a dash camera installed into it. So I have basically every drive she ever did prior to my ownership, because she did so few of them. And I actually have the moment from when I first bought the car, like when I was in it. Cool, but not cool. Yeah. But yeah, back to what was in the car when I bought it. We also had this Subaru labor charges form, which is listed, 1800 and L series, and this is your dealership fixed price servicing. So in 1986, your 6 monthly or 12,500 Ks was a $16.50 fee. Your second interval was your 12 monthly, and that was $82, and your 24 monthly or 50,000 Ks, whatever comes first, was $115. Your air conditioning or your pre-summer service, excluding refrigerant R12, was $44. So that's your fixed price servicing. I'd be curious to see what that's like compared to now. And I can do that because my mum actually has a 2024 Subaru, which I haven't had a play with yet, but I wonder what her fixed price servicing compares to that. Along the other, Subaru based stuff that came with the car, I got this approved accessories for the car, like little brochure thing, which is pretty funny because it doesn't actually have the Vortex on it. It has your L series, your Leone, and your Brumby, and it doesn't show. I mean, the only option here that applies to me is the H pattern alloy wheels. So yeah, but this is pretty cool. When I first got the car, I dwelled over this a fair bit, wanting all the factory options for my car. We have a Focus Video hiring agreement, which I'm guessing is your like your Blockbuster card or something, but even probably earlier than that. This is definitely prior to my time. This is the application for purchasing tax stamps. So I have no idea what that means. I'm sure it was once upon a time important. Australian guide for major radio stations. So heading interstate and you want to listen to what's on the radio, you can tune in with this. This will tell you what station number you got to put in. And lastly, of show and tell is a what to do after an accident booklet, which is pretty good. It's got like the fill it out thing in there. I've just kept it. It'll stay with the car. It also came with nighttime driving glasses and a set of driving gloves. So that's what came in the car. I also got some of the service history, not a complete service history. Very limited to everything that happened post the year 2000. And from that, I've been able to deduce a few things. The first being the reason the dash cam went in there was because of a driving incident. I don't know if this is like a government policy or just a recommendation from an insurer or something. But from what the paperwork has, at some point the car sustained a small front end collision, and that resulted in the front bar being, damaged. And so a panel beater did the job, but instead of repairing the front bumper, just a JDM one was ordered. So that's what they could get from Subaru at the time. That was an authorized repair. And so instead of the whatever bumper came on it, which I imagine was a silver one with the black top, it's now got a Japanese all silver, and it's got the headlight washers inbuilt to it. So probably just came from like the auctions or something, because it was cheaper than trying to find one at a junkyard or something and respray it. I also know that happened because I have the paperwork to reflect it, but the dash cam also of it at the panel repair place.
Like, just stab the throttle, feel how like responsive it is. What the fuck? See ya. It's like a spaceship in here or something. Yeah, no shit. Fuck.
So I never got to see the sustained damage, but I know that that's why it has a different front bumper to what it would have come with. Yeah, other than that, the service history is pretty blank. It's had the oil pump resealed a few times, which I think has definitely helped it, but there's a whole lot of stuff that's outstanding. I'll get into that in sort of the next bit. Basically, that's like a rundown of, what it was like getting this car. There were definitely a few things that really need addressing, and so we'll get into that, because YouTube makes cars look pretty clean. That car is not perfect. It's a very nice example, but, it's got a whole lot of stuff that needs to get done. When I first got the car, it came with this little green sticker on the rear bumper, and I didn't know what it was until someone told me that it means something like safe to overtake or preference overtake, and so it's saying that on my right hand side I'd prefer to be overtaken. It's something stupid. I wanted it gone, so I used like a hairdryer and a public transport card to get rid of it. The paint was actually pretty alright underneath, and yeah, I decided level sticker. I thought about where I wanted to place one. I have a few, so yeah, first one is going to be a rear bumper sticker, which is probably going to trigger some people because it's not on the glass, it's on the paint, but I don't really care, it's my car. So yeah, it should also reflect nicely, which is pretty cool. Also caught up with my mate Ed on the weekend, aka the Vortex expert, and he was nice enough to pull the cover off his Pocket Aces, so enjoy.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection.
special use for the future.
Nice. So if you didn't catch that other video, that is some of the stuff I have. Starting to get a couple of parts. Obviously got those SAS seats from that other video, which I'll link, which I plan to adapt these factory headrests to, and do seat rails and stuff. So that wraps up this video. In the next episode, I'm going to cover off the big refresh, what's involved. I'm also going to express what I think are the best modifications for this car, or the best starting modifications. And if you want to see more of Ed's cars, I plan to do features, but for now you'll have to either watch his full restoration video, which I highly advise, or I'll leave his Shannon's Garage in the description. So thank you, hope you enjoyed this one. Peace.